get the recording going. That's going, whoops, a little bit too quick. So let's go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking time to tune in with us tonight. This is Flagler Weather Info, and this is our weekly weather outlook that we do generally every weekend. We usually focus on Sunday night. Sometimes we will do it on Saturday night if there's anything coming in on Sunday. So lots of stuff changing in the weather this week, so let's get right on to it. So for those that only have a few minutes to look, here is our quick forecast for the week ahead, taking us up to Thursday. So Monday and Tuesday are going to be the changing days. So most of Monday is going to be a warm, breezy day. Cloud thickens up, and then a round of overnight showers and thunderstorms can be expected. They actually could get in here earlier, so there's a risk of showers during the day on Monday, but the bulk of the activity looks to be during those overnight hours. There could be a strong storm or two, but look at that. High temperatures in the lower 90s. Some places probably hotter than that. Low temperatures bottom out near 61. Now, Tuesday morning, that activity starts to pull away, so showers will be winding down, thinning cloud throughout the day with sunny spells developing. Temperatures only getting up to about 73 degrees or so in the lower 70s. Temperatures bottoming out in the mid 50s as some cooler air begins to move in. Now, we're going to have a couple little fronts and disturbances sticking with us for the week. So we know the air will be cooler. There still will be the risk of the odd shower, the odd spot of rain as we go Wednesday into Thursday. Highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s with a warming trend as we go towards the end of the week. And then, even though I don't have it on here, looking at the weekend, looks like cooler and dry air seems to be the main feature of this upcoming weekend. So let's get into first the stuff about the storms. We had another weather system coming into the area, another front that's going to give the potential for some severe weather. Fortunately for us, the higher chances of that are to our north and west, considerably so. So just in the very northwest parts of our county, there's a very low-end chance of a strong or severe storm. We're close enough that we have to kind of watch that, but the higher chances of it happening are further off to the north. And this big yellow area means that scattered severe storms are expected. And in this darker green area, there could be strong thunderstorms, but maybe one or two of them could get to severe anywhere in this dark green area or near it, and we're right in the near part of it. But as this activity approaches us, it'll probably begin to weaken. Make no mistake, though, that things can change, so it's always a good idea to stay informed, especially Monday night into Tuesday morning as we're going to see that potential for storms. Now, just a reminder, you can get alerted. So if a tornado warning is issued in the middle of the night, it'll call you up on the telephone. It's free to sign up. Alert Flagler, and you just go to flaglercounty.gov/alert Flagler to sign up. It is provided free to us by Flagler County Emergency Management. I take a swig of water there. Apologize for that. So let's go ahead and get into the details of why the weather's going to be doing what it is this week. So we do have a cold front that's going to be positioned right through the central part of the state of Florida by Monday. That front's going to slowly make its way through, and along with it, it's going to bring some unsettled weather. Then a second front, this one here, will also kind of clip through behind it, and then another one might clip through stall about midweek. But after all of that, much cooler air will be arriving behind all of these fronts. Not the coldest that's ever been for April. I've seen it much, much cooler in April. But largely, it's going to be much cooler than we've had the last several days. So you are definitely going to notice that. So let's take a look at our forecast. Now, Monday, thickening cloud throughout the day. There could be a shower or a storm during the course of the day, more so in the afternoon. But rounds of showers and storms chiefly during those overnight hours. And again, one or two of those could be strong, so just be aware of that. High temperatures in the lower 90s. That's probably the first widespread 90s we've had this year. Low temperatures bottoming out near 60 during those overnight hours. Now, as we go into Tuesday, showers, rain, and all that stuff will be working its way out of here. There could be some leftover rain in the morning, but it'll be on its way out. Maybe a half inch to an inch of rain at most, some of the, with heavier amounts possible. Nothing like they've had up in the Ohio River Valley. High temperatures near 73 degrees or so, generally the lower 70s, so significantly cooler than it's been. Low temperatures, rain in the mid-50s, will be warmer right near the beaches. Now, Wednesday through Friday, generally a slight risk of a shower, but nothing, no big systems coming through. Cooler than slowly warmer. So we're looking at highs in the 70s, working our way towards 80 by Friday, maybe some lower 80s by Friday. Low temperatures 55 to 60. Of course, those numbers climbing as we go towards the end of the week. And then another front might come through on Friday and cool us down once again. So the weekend may actually cool off a little bit. So showing that now, this takes us into the long range outlook. April 12th into the 16th. That takes us into this weekend. Cooler than normal temperatures can be expected largely across Flagler County, including the state of Florida, and below normal precipitation chances. So staying relatively dry and cool as we go into the weekend. Now, and into early next week. Not this week, but next week. So going further on, April 14th to the 20th, this takes us into the following weekend, and we're looking at temperatures to be creeping back above normal and precipitation chances staying below normal as we go into that period of time. And then as we go from the rest of April into early May, right now we're looking at above normal temperatures largely across the state of Florida, including Flagler County, in equal chances. Yeah, I know there's people cheering on the cooler weather. You're not the only one, and it'd be nice to leave the windows and doors open of my apartment over here. So anyhow, but equal chances of above or below normal precipitation. So generally about average is what expected as we go into. Now let's talk about fire danger and wildfires, because that is definitely a concern. So there's an active fire that broke out just north of the county line. That is still ongoing. That's why that is red. So, and I just screen captured this maybe about 15 minutes ago. So this is an active wildfire up here north of the county line. I don't have a size of this one just yet. Further updates, I'll be able to get one, but it's in St. Johns County, but it's off of County Road 204 in St. Johns County, just over the county line. So I always like to make note of fires that are near the county boundaries. During 98, one of the big fires came out of St. John's into Flagler. So speaking of bigger fires, so I don't have an acreage on that one. This one here is contained. It's called the Kelly Road Fire, and this one has 40 acres. That's a pretty big fire. Not the biggest you can ever get. Trust me, I was here in 98 and 85. They can get much bigger, but much bigger. But 40 acres, that's the biggest wildfire in Flagler County. It is fully contained, being monitored by the Florida Forest Service. All these other guys here are less than 3 acres. They're all also contained. None going on over in the populated areas of the county, but even these are of concern, and they will be monitored. And also we had another one over here in Pearson. It's also being monitored. So where do we stand with wildfire concerns as we go through the next month here? So all through the month of April, we do have an above normal risk of significant wildfires here in Flagler County. And that risk goes all the way up to Virginia and all the way down to the Florida Keys. So, and then looking further afield, these risks look to stay with us into June. So just keep that in mind. Is that now, be very careful out there with anything that might start a brush fire. One less spark, one less brush fire. Fire danger overall in Flagler County remains high, and drought index numbers. Now, the drought index, let me explain that again, just a reminder how that works. If the drought index is 0, the ground is soaking wet. That's like the way the ground was after Hurricane Milton. If we are at 800, we are desert dry. And so right now we're at 430, which is we are creeping into, we're in the middle of the scale, but creeping upwards. So hopefully this next round of rain will knock this down again a little bit, but it got knocked down last week and it bounced back very quickly. It got knocked down to, I think, 386, and it really rocketed back up north, back up. So again, that's when it gets over 500 is when we really start to have some problems. So that's where we are. We're closing in on 500 right now with this. And so, the wildfire risk is going to be with us, I'm afraid, until, we get into the rainy season, at least so it appears, unless we get a good weather system between now and then. Beaches surf 3 to 4 feet. Surf temperature 72 degrees. That surf temperature has come up. Still quite chilly to get in, but it's a lot nicer than it was a couple weeks ago when it was down in the 60s, but still quite cool. High risk of dangerous rip currents on most days. Just be very aware of that. UV index very high. Make sure that you are using proper sun protection, even if you're not at the beach. If you're outside for any length of time, make sure that you have good sun protection with you. So that's going to wrap it up. Again, please follow. You can follow us on Facebook. Obviously, you're doing that because you're watching right now. We also have a presence on TikTok, amazingly. Generally, we only post major updates there. We have an update. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. And we also have started a YouTube channel. If you search for Flagler Weather Info on YouTube, this video broadcast that I'm wrapping up will be available there. Also, you can rewind this for any additional, if you want to, if it just came in, you can rewind this to see, anything that you've missed. Everybody out there, have a great evening. Have a great week ahead. It's going to be a hot day tomorrow, round of showers and storms, and then things cool off this week. Everybody have a great night.